All right, welcome back. Let's pick up from where we left the other video. Okay, I want to show us how to create a card, right? Now we've inserted the charts. This is an empty chart, but with a chart editor pin, we can put up some values or some charts on this card or this empty visualization. So what we want to create is a card. Come over here, select card. So there are options. We have the scorecard chart. Select the scorecard charts, and then has some fields which are empty, saying data requires this section. Okay, we need to select the data range. That is the next thing to do. Click on this little icon right here to select the data range. Now we have the pivot table and the VG cell. So in case you don't have any suggestion, right? If you don't have a suggestion right here, what you need to do is to head over to VG cells, click on VG cells, and select all the records, say from cell A, right? From A1 down up to the last record. So let's do this. So to do that, you can just use your control shift. So A1 is selected, right? Control shift and the down arrow key, we select the last record. Then you can also do the same control shift and the right arrow key to select the last record. So you see that it's the same suggested range that we have in this cell, right? VG sales exclamation mark A1 full column L1 L16599. That is suggested range that was that popped up when we clicked on that range field. Now go ahead and click on OK. Once you do that, the next step to take is to select the card, the value you want to show. I mean, the key value. All right. So the key value you want to show is the NA sales, because we displayed the card for all of these sales, including the global sales, the NA sales. So when you click on NA sales, it's going to pop up the NA sales with this game, WII spots. But we want to take the aggregate and not showing individual spots on cards. So what we need to do is to come here and select aggregate, right? Select aggregate. So once you select aggregate, this we aggregate the sales for you. Okay, and we need the base value. So let's talk about the base value. I'll remove this for now and we'll add the base value much later. Okay. So what this is showing is the sum of all sales in this any region, right? So that is about 4,392. Okay. So to because this value looks so large, like very long, we can format it. We come to the custom or customize section of the chart editor field, go to the key value. Now, under the key value, you can select the alignment. I want it to be centered. So right now, you might not see the effect until, okay, it has changed actually. But when you drag and reduce this, you see that this text, the key value will be centered, and we want to choose a scale factor because this value looks so large, occupying a lot of space. I come here and choose my scale factor of 1000 because this is in thousands, right? If it's in millions, you choose this million. If it's in billion, and so on and so forth. So I choose 1000 as my scale factor, then it gives me 3.4.39, right? Okay, 4.39 watts. Let's choose a number format, and I want my number format to be custom, right? So my number format should be custom, and we have to put in some prefix k. So if we want to make, I mean, some suffix k, that is 4.39k. If we want to, also make this in dollar, fortunately we don't have a naira symbol on our keyboard, so we might want to use the dollar symbol. If you put this dollar sign as a prefix, that will appear at the front of this. So I think we should include this, even though it's not there on my own dashboard. Let's just work, assume these sales are in dollars, right? So this is 4,000, about $4,390, right? So once you do that, you're done formatting your key value. Okay, the next step is to reduce this card so that it can fit where you want to place it. So just go ahead and reduce it. So don't mind, my system is becoming a little bit slow. Maybe I have that is because I have put a lot of things in it. So reduce this card to fit wherever you want to, have it appear. Okay, so there's a base value, right? A baseline value that we want you to compare all these sales. So the baseline value that I used in my own case was the average. Okay, but when you come to your data set, you won't find the average because the average sales is not part of your data set. So simply calculate the average of the NA sales, the EU sales, the JP sales, and other sales. Okay, don't include the global sales. So that was what I did to calculate the average of sales. You can see from G2 to J2. So from G2 to J2, get the average from G2 to J2. All right, when you look at my formula bar, you can find the formula there. From G2 to J2, that was how I calculated this average column, and I did for all. Why? Because I want to use this average column as my baseline to compare the sales, how individual sales performed, relative to other sales, by comparing it with the average of other sales. Okay, let's get back in. So because I have the column calculated already, you have to do yours in your own case, calculate the average sales. So we use that average sales as the baseline, right? To pop up your chart editor, come to these three dots right here, click here and select edit charts. All right, so once edit chart comes up, you can come over to the baseline. You see it says text can only aggregate by count. Select this and choose the average global sales. Okay, so if you have imported this card before inserting the average column or calculating the average column, you may need to come over here and adjust because the average column appeared on the L column. So, and it stops at your data originally stopped at column K. So you would have to include column L in the range selected earlier, because remember you've already selected range before calculating the average. That is, if that is what you've done in your own case. So just come over here and add the L, okay, just to include the average column. Okay, so once you do that, once you add the L, then you find the average column in the list. But if it stops at K, the average column won't be on the list. Let's see practically. If I have this as K16599 and I come over to this place to check you can see that the average column is not on the list because we just selected the range from A to K. But if I include L, which stores the average sales for all region, then by the time I come over to my baseline value and search for it, you find it added to the list. So when you choose average global sales as a baseline value, you can see that there will be immediately automatically, you'll see the baseline appear in green. All right. And we can actually format this baseline. Let's get back to customize and choose baseline value. All right, so it's asking by show comparison to key value as is it absolute change we want or percentage change. So we want percentage change so that this will give us as percentages. So it means that this change compared to the average change of the EU sales compared to the average is about 97.08%, which is a very good sales compared to the average of others. Okay, now you can add text after comparison. So what text do you want? You can add the text, but let's leave it as blank. And then you can change these colors. The font color is black. Positive value becomes green, then negative value becomes red. So if it's zero, it will be black. I want that baseline value to be aligned center, so it looks like this. Great. And then finally, I would like to give a title to my card. Let's go to chart style. No, not chart style. I want to do chart and title axis. So let's call this total. This is total EU. Is it total EU sales? What's the first sale that we calculated? Let me check again. That should be the NA sales. So that is going to be total NA sales. Total NA sales, right? Total NA sales is the title of this card. And then I'm going to choose a font size of 12 to make it a little bit small. Okay, next I want to also make this center aligned. When you align it center, that is great. So our card is making sense, looking so fine right now. Can adjust this card just to fit in the position you want it to be. You can move it around, right? So this is the same thing you do for the other cards. Calculate the total EU sales, total JP sales, other sales, and global sales. So you do that to actually put all of those cards together. Okay. All right, so that was how the first card, I mean the cards were achieved to have our dashboard created. Okay, great. So the next step to take is, let's see how to create this particular line chart. All right, how do we create the line chart? So this line chart was created from the pivot table that we did earlier. So this is a pivot table that has the year and all the NA sales. So since you've learned how to create pivot table in a previous video, I won't be showing you how to do this. I want you to figure out how to get this done by yourself. But for the dashboard, for the chart, let me just show you how to get that chart done. Now, when you go back, come to insert, select chart again, and the chart appears. So choose line chart. We want the line chart. Then you have to select the data range, right? So data range this time around is from pivot one. Come over to pivot one, immediately select data range, just come over to pivot one, okay, and highlight all the data you can find here from beginning to the very last one. Hold shift and select the last value here. Don't include the grand total, right? So once you do that, you then click OK. All right, by clicking OK, it means you have created the chart, the line chart of all of those sales. It shows you all this the legend by the side. Okay, so we want to have on our x-axis, we want to have what do we have on our x-axis? Let's check it out again. Let's come here. So on x-axis is global sales in naira. All right, so that is fine. And y-axis we have those. So let's come to format this. All of these, what is it called? All of these, the legend, we want it to be at the top part of the chart and not at the right. We can have this as a series. Okay, that is fine. We have those as our series, and let's go ahead to format this line chart. Come to custom, and from custom, let's go to legend, and position, we want our legend position to be at the top. All right, so have a legend position at the top, like just like this. The year column, we don't want the year column to be as part of the series. Come back to setup, setup, and remove the year column here. So the year column should be, remove year column. It should be the x-axis. Let's add it to the x-axis, and once we do that, you can see the year had appear on the x-axis, and we have each of all our other series, the some of NA sales, some of EU sales, and so on and so forth. We add aggregates, so to make just aggregates by the years. So these are the different years, the aggregate, the sum of each of these sales for the different regions. Okay, next we can also use one as headers. Okay, so using one as headers means that the first columns, I mean the title columns from where the range we selected. All right, at this point we can also choose, let's see, chart style. Okay, our chart style is fine. We don't have any need to, don't need to edit anything here. So the chart title, I think we call that the what do you call it again? Let's see what it was called from the first dashboard. So we call this distribution of global sales by year, right? So come over to this point and click on your edit chart again. Let's head over to custom and chart and axis titles, uh distribution of, okay, so this is actually not global sales, it's distribution of sales, uh, distribution of sales for all regions, all regions by year. So that is the distribution of sales for all regions by year. Okay, and let's leave the font size to be 16. 16 is not bad. Then we make it centered, aligned, and what else? So that is looking great. All right, so next let's give a horizontal axis title. The horizontal axis title should be year, right? And the vertical axis title, so let's leave the horizontal axis title to be auto as the font size. Then the vertical axis title should be the so this is the sum of sales, right? I mean, global sales in naira. Yeah, global sales in naira. All right, and that is looking fine. Awesome. So with this, you can then adjust these charts. You can reduce it, and maybe make it wider to fit in the region, the space you want it to be. So that is how to achieve this very charts that we achieved in the previous the example I showed you. Okay, next is the table. We have a table in this chart, right? We have a table right here. So here's a table of platforms showing you the different number of games produced in each of these platforms, right? So how do we create a table in Google Sheet? So how to form or create a table is also the same way of how you insert other charts. Click on insert and select table. Let's go ahead and select table. So this is table chart. With a table chart, you need to select the range of values you want, and the range is from VG sales. Select all of the VG sales and click on OK. All right, so what we want on the table chart is the different genre of games, right? So if you once you come to the table chart, you see that it has placed all the columns from our table: rank, name. When you scroll to the right, you find the platform, the year, the genre, the publisher, and so on and so forth. So I come over to this part that says aggregates. I want to take out all of these other platforms. I mean, all of these other columns. I don't want these columns to appear on the the table. So every other column should be taken out. Let's see. All right, so there used to be an option to take out all of them at once, but here we have to take it one after the other. All right, just bear with me, my computer is a little bit slow these days, so let's just take out these columns one after the other because we don't actually need them. So the other way to prevent this from happening is to select just that column of interest, and the column of interest is actually the general column, right? So we want the general column here, and so why I just included all the columns is just that in case we want to show other columns, you can put them there, right? You can put them up. So let's just take out these columns one after the other. So just take out the columns, taking out other sales. I'm taking out, as you can see, as I'm taking them out, they are reducing from the table. I'll take out the global sales, and I'll also take out the average sales. So what do I want to see? I actually want to see the count of these particular genre. So when I click on aggregate, it gives me the count, okay? And with the count, I can use the first row as header, and then it shows us okay, I think it's actually not the genre but the platform, right? Let's see. I think, oh, it was a platform, right? Was it the platform? No, no, not the platform. It was the, what was it again? Let's see. Let me check the other. Let me check the other dashboard so we have an idea of what was used for the table. Okay, it was actually the platform. Yep, it was the platform. All right, so let's go ahead and choose the platform for the table. I choose the platform and the count of the platform. So this is the platform and the count of the platform. If you want this to show in descending order, let's come to customize, go to table, and you choose show number of rows. You want to include the number for all of these, right? You show give you the number, and then we want to sort by platform. All right, so since we have platform and count of platform, unfortunately this is not giving us count of platform, so we have platform. All right, there's no way to edit this as count of platform or number of games. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that field. So I hope that Google would maybe work on this in the near future as their new update. All right, so and then we want this to appear in descending order. So you have to uncheck this box to make it appear in descending order. So this is the table that was added to that particular chart. Can then come adjust it, reduce the size, the width, and make it appear the way you want it to be, and adjust every other side. So you can scroll down to see other values and so on and so forth. All right. So that's it. Then next, you want to, let's see what else we have on our dashboard. Okay, on our dashboard, we have what else? Okay, so this column chart, I'll leave you to create this because you've learned how to create column chart. And every other thing is simple formatting. All right, you can what is it called again? You can merge your cells, right, to give it a title. So when if you want to merge cells for title, just come over here, highlight the number of cells you need, click on this icon to merge cells, and type your title right there: video game video game sales dashboard. All right, video game sales dashboard, and you come over to this point to make it center aligned, and you click on this vertical alignment to place it at the middle. You can also increase the font size by pressing this plus sign, make it bold if you want it to be bold. And this is video, and to give it a background color, choose, select it and give it a background color of your choice, and give it a font color of your choice. And also insert a, you can also insert a picture, which is the logo. In this case we used the verified logo, and we did it as insert over cells. Come over here and select, search for the logo you want, any picture you want of your choice. Keep scrolling until you find your logo. So here's the logo I used. Click on open, and once it is opened, all right, go ahead and get the logo at the position wherever you want it to be. Reduce the size and place it well. So all of those for other formatting, I'll leave you to figure out how to do those. Arrange your dashboard to look like the one that will be shared with you in the instruction. So this is it. Just go ahead and put off this and get everything set. All right. You can also hide grids if you don't want to see grids, just like we did in this particular dashboard. When you come back to this dashboard, you notice that the grids are hidden, right? You can see this just showing plain white. So the grids are hidden, plain white. In fact, I can just delete every other columns and rows just to have the number of columns that we have that covers the dashboard. Highlight all other columns, right click and click on delete columns M to Z. So when you scroll to the, when you try scrolling to the right, you can't go to the right anymore. Okay, it's just showing the dashboard. But now I can scroll to the bottom. If I don't want to do that again, I would highlight this 20, then highlight every other columns or rows rather, right click and delete rows. So you can't scroll to the bottom again because you can't scroll to the right. But you can even see there's no scroll bar here, right? So you're only seeing your dashboard. So you can do that if you want. That can be done instead of merging. I mean, not merging, hiding your grids. You can also hide the grids. If you want to hide grids, come to view, point to show, and unselect the grid lines. So with this, the grid lines is hidden, and you can go ahead and format or arrange your dashboard just the way you want it to be. All right, great. So this is how to create a dashboard. In fact, there are several other ways, right? You can create dashboard by writing queries in Google Sheets. You can create dashboard from using just pivot tables all through. You can, all sorts of amazing things can be done on Google Sheets. There are different ways of creating dashboard, but this is just one simple way. Of course, we said that your dashboard should be interactive, but we're yet to add some interactivity. If you want to add interactivity, it means you have to come over to inserts and select something like a drop down, or yeah, let us say a drop down. With your drop down, you're able, no, not drop down, sorry, because that is data validation. I do not want to add a drop down. I want to add, what do I want to add? Let's see, is it under format or under insert? I think it should be under insert. So under insert, I want to add slicer. Okay, slicer. Where's my slicer? Where is my slicer? All right. Oh, here is it. So I want to add a slicer to my dashboard so I can slice and pick records from there. Can come over here, choose on whatever you want. Say, from the my pivot table, and click on OK, so that you can choose what you want to add on your slicer. You want to see by NA sales or global sales. You can just add the column you want, right? So if you're working with other table, you can add the column. Now, if you come here, you can only see the values under this column. So when you choose uh, clear all and then choose just one value, what you'll be seeing here, come here and click OK. You'll be seeing for any sales, just that single value for any sales for those for that year, right? So this is one way to add slicer. You can actually do this when if you are so interested in making your dashboard interactive, okay? And that would affect, when you add the slicer, you add the slicer such a way that it affects every other information. Once you click on the slicer, every other thing will be affected, right? All the whole data, I mean audio dashboard, we have changes, right? So you can drill down and get more insights from your dashboard. Okay, so guys, that'll be all for now, and I wish you all very best of luck as you come towards the end of your tech skills. For those of you who started in January, I wish you all the best. Do have a wonderful time and see you in the next course. Goodbye.